Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Let's Play World of Tanks with James Steiner. I'm going to be doing a couple more matches. I will try and keep them within the... Well, I'll try and keep them within the tier 5s. Maybe I'll do a couple tier 2 or 3 matches, but we will see. I'm going to be starting off with the Panzerkampfwagen 3/4. Which is a tank that utilizes parts of both the Panzerkampfwagen 3 and the Panzerkampfwagen 4, making for a relatively versatile tank, but its armor is not the greatest, though its speed in comparison to other mediums is superb. It is almost on par with most of the German light tanks in their speeds. The only one that can outrun it is the fully upgraded Lux. But we will see how this goes. Looks like we're going to do another confrontation. Is Germans versus Americans. This could be good or really, really bad. We've got a pretty good mix of tank destroyers and standard tanks. But they've got a few more heavies than we do, which could turn really bad for us. They've got the T-14 heavy and the T-1 heavies. And those T-1 heavies are nothing to laugh at. Yes, they're slow, but they've got pretty good damage cannons and very thick armor. I think technically it's thicker than the Russians, but it's not positioned or angled quite as well, meaning that it can still be penned. But they've also got pretty high hit point pools. I'm going to try and take the hill, since this is a pretty good location to fire down at the enemy and take out any camping artillery pieces. But since there isn't an artillery piece, it's still irrelevant. It is irrelevant as far as that strategy is concerned, but it still allows us for a pretty fast way to flank the targets and most likely go for a capture if they decide to rush the center field, which no one ever rushes the center field once you get above tier 4. A couple of the tier 3s might try it, but I doubt they will. Because of this thing's speed, I'll probably be the first on the hill, which also means I'm going to be the first to be shot at. It will most likely be one of the M4s that make it up here, unless, of course, one of the tank destroyers beats me up here, and it is a T-49. That is not good. But it looks like I've got slightly higher damage capability than it. I just need to stay out of its line of sight, which I'm doing a terrible job at doing right now. I'm doing a very terrible job. He's got me twice, and I am just below 50% health, which is not good in a brawl. If I can hold right here and wait for him to come around the corner, I could knock out his tracks and then leave him a sitting duck for my other compatriots, but they need to first move up. It looks like we've held the... Oh, that is not good. That is a Ram 2. That thing is a tough son of a bitch. There's no way I'm going to be able to brawl with this guy. This thing is designed to kill tanks like mine. And it looks like they're going for a hard push. This is not good. This is really not good. I need a pullback. And that's the GG for me. They managed to push and hold the hill. If my guys had pushed up as well, they would have walked right into a crossfire, but my guys decided to hold back, and now these guys have the superior position. They could turn this around. They very well could, but we are still holding the advantage, and it looks like we're moving up on the capture. But it also looks like one of the heavies are guarding it as well, but we've also got a heavy. We've got our only heavy down there. It could go either way. It really could, but I'm not going to stick around to find out. A miserable match, but it was enjoyable. I want to be trying a couple of the tank destroyers that I have. I have not done them before, so this should be a new experience for most people. Though, when you're in a tank destroyer, there is a lot of camping involved. You just set up and wait for the enemies to move into your line of sight. That's the trick. It's finding the right place to set up, especially with this gun, which has a very small fire cone. is by far the worst gun when it comes to being being a mobile turret, but it's got the highest damage. I mean, you can probably knock out anything within its own tier in 2 shots max, but it has a rather lengthy reload. It's also got a pretty good speed, so it can set up very quickly, but the trick is getting up to that position and then interpreting and guessing where the enemy is going to go and being right, because if you have to move, you're going to reveal yourself, and this thing does not have good armor or a very good hit point pool. It's only got 350 hit points. Most things at this tier have 600. Looks like there's not very many people coming up north with me, but I've gotten on the hill, which is a good thing. It will allow me to fire down at targets and other enemies that might be positioned on the opposite hill. The main problem is going to be the town. I'm going to have to knock this wall out of the way. There we go. Now I just hold position and wait. I'm going to have to move most likely if something appears over that hill, but I should be far enough away that no one should spot me. There hasn't been any blood spilt yet, but we've spotted a few of their targets. I can't tell from this range what they are. All I know is that there's a tank destroyer and a light tank over there, meaning that there's probably going to be a few mediums close behind. We've already lost one of our, I believe that's a medium tank. Yes, we've lost one of our mediums, which is not good. And it looks like there's someone trying to flank us, the M7. But it looks like I've got a target to shoot at, and he was almost dead, but I have to reposition now. He is just barely in my line of sight. This is not good. I am going to die most likely. Somehow he can see me, but I cannot see him. Looks like the enemies have pretty much won the south end. They're just mowing through our guys. We've already, well, we didn't have a heavy tank, and they've got a Churchill heavy. And he's not going to reveal himself to me that easily. And I missed, so I am now dead. GG. And that last match before this one was a victory. So I am not completely terrible. Let's move on to the last tank destroyer and probably the last match for this episode. The Stug 3 is an interesting tank. It's got a very low profile. It's very small, very tough to spot. However, its armor is not the greatest against anything above tier 5. Meaning you have to pick and choose your battles, and seeing as we're going to be facing tier 7s, which can probably one-shot this thing even from the front, this will be a very interesting match. I'm going to move down to the west. Here's a very good choke point. They have to funnel straight to us, and they usually do it willingly. And I've got the highest tier gun on this tank destroyer, so I should be able to kill them relatively quickly unless the tier 7 heavies show up. And looks like they've got 4 heavies, we've only got 3, and 2 of them are KV-1s. So this is not going to... Well, the KV-1s are good for us. They've got a Tiger 1. And if I remember correctly, it's a jack-of-all-trades heavy tank, but it's better than most other German heavies within their respective tiers. And I'm just getting bounced around by these guys. I should be able to make it to the choke point just behind them. Though it's probably not going to be very effective since both of them are already doing it. But I can set up and take those guys out. Perfect. Now I should be able to reach him. Yep. But somehow somebody sees me. Looks like two different guys shot at me. The Tiger one and the Hellcat. And they managed to knock out my ammunition, which lowers my reload time significantly. Where did they hit exactly? They hit there next to my tracks. I want to know where the ammo is on this thing so I can make sure I don't get hit there again. I only see one blemish and it's near the tracks, and that's what knocked those out, but I don't see what knocked out my ammunition. Okay, looks like their KV-1 is over here. I should be able to get a shot off at that tank destroyer. I did, but he's got a beat on me. But he shot over, which is good. Now I need to back off to make sure he doesn't get another shot off. Things seem to be going... Things don't really seem to be going at all. There's only been 3 kills, 2 for us and 1 for them. But neither flank has fallen yet. It's just a standoff. An M6 is moving up. Another American tank. I need a setup. Oh, and the KV-1's oh wait, that's the Tiger. This could get very messy very quickly. Got a shot off, but he's now out of my sight. And here comes the Tiger. And it bounced off. That is surprising. They have a very heavy force on this side, and there was no way I was going to get out of that. And that's the GG, ladies and gentlemen. This has been James Steiner playing World of Tanks, and I will see you all next time.